yo, it's so many, hey, it's so many, yo, it's so many, yo, it's so many lies. Look in my eyes, they know I'm the truth. They know that. Knocking them down every time I step in the booth. We ain't got a lie, they know we the vibe, we living in proof. It's young conscious, shoot my life a movie, I live in a spoof. Ain't no sticking around, I'm on the move, I'm checking the deuce. Yeah, it's only us two, so you know we copping that cool. We on the roof, smoking dope, look at the view. Yeah, we used to chill on the stoop, now we out here breaking the nose. It ain't shit you.
Yes, Miss Bev, you ain't gonna lie, but my mom actually, she didn't buy the doll, but she kept like the picture of the lady, of Michelle, the doll Michelle. I don't give a damn way she looks. She is brilliant and well poised, intelligent. They didn't just have nothing else to say. Exactly, because I'm gonna tell you right now, she taught Obama. She is the smartest goddamn person in this damn country, if you ask me, because she taught him from Harvard. But let's talk about Linda Martell. She was born Thelma Bynum on June 4th, 1941 in Leesville, South Carolina. She started singing in her church choir at age 5 and developed interest in R&B and blues and country music as she grew older. Gained prominence in 1969 after performing at the Charleston Air Force Base. She signed with Shelby Singleton Plantation record label. I don't like that name. She achieved chart success with her debut single, Color Him Father, from the album Color Me Country. Reaching the top 25, she became the first African American woman to perform at Nashville's Grand Ole Opry. She appeared on television programs such as Hee Haw. I actually watched that when I was in Mississippi. Oh my God. The Bill Anderson Show. She followed up hits included Before the Next Teardrop Falls, Bad Case of the Blues in the 1970s, both charting. Her chart success was brief with no subsequent chart singles. She decided to leave the music scene in 1974, citing pressures of parenthood and touring on her health. She became an educator after leaving the industry, chose to focus on raising her family and maintain her well-being. Her decision to step back from music was influenced by stresses highlighted in a Swedish TV profile. She remains committed to the education and did not return to performing or recording. That was Linda Martell. Now, we're going to check real quick about what's going on this week in history. This week, which is the 30th to May 6th, this man looks very debonair here. 711 AD. Oh, Lord. That's this dude down here. I'm taking you all the way back. Tariq the Moor invaded Spain with forces of 7,000 troops. He routed the Visigoth and established the Moor domination of Spain. While there remains some dispute over Tariq's race, the weight of the evidence is strong that he was a black man. He was described in accounts of the times as having brown skin and woolly hair. I hate when they say woolly. His full name was Tariq al-Gibral. The famed Rock of Gibraltar is named in his honor. Ooh. Shaka Zulu. I know about that as a child. My mama taped it on TBS and kept playing it. I don't think a 4-year is supposed to be watching Shaka Zulu's life. That was nasty. 1828, Shaka Zulu, the great Zulu king and military leader, was unalived. His innovative military strategies kept European imperialism at bay for years as he established Zulu dominance in large parts of southern Africa. The Zulu nation grew to at least 250,000 with an army of over 40,000, but Shaka became increasingly dictatorial. Opposition to his dictatorship combined with jealousy led to his two half-brothers to assassinate him on this day in 1828. That was April 30th. So in May 1st, 1866, the two-day Memphis, Tennessee race riots, one of the most savage events immediately following the Civil War, began. When it was over, former Confederate soldiers, angered by the loss of the Civil War and the new status for blacks, had unalived 46 blacks, and I hate when they say blacks, and 2 of their white supporters, as well as raped 5 black women and torched over 90 homes, schools, and churches. And you devilish bastards. In support of the rebel soldiers, local police arrested hundreds of blacks and not the whites who were rioting. However, However, the savage nature of the rioting in Memphis and a similar disturbance in New Orleans prompted Congress to pass the Radical Reconstruction to aid black people, a civil rights bill, and the 14th Amendment to the Constitution guaranteeing citizenship and equal protection to former slaves. Ooh, that was dark. 1950, brilliant poet Gwendolyn Brooks, the first African American to win a Pulitzer Prize award in 1950 for her second collection, Annie Allen, is born on this day in Topeka, Kansas. At 17, she started submitting her work to Lights and Shadows, the poetry column of the Chicago Defender, an African American newspaper. Brooks published her first book of poetry at Street in Bronzeville, 1945, with Harper and Row. After strong show of support to publishers from author Richard Wright, Brooks died on December 3rd, 2000 in Chicago. I don't know why I do that because I'm not monetized. Anyways, 1967, the long hot summer begins. The period between May 1st and October 1st, 1967, witnessed the most dramatic and destructive series of black urban disturbances in American history. Major riots took place in 40 American cities. There were also lesser disturbances in 100 smaller towns and cities. Many felt the riots were sparked by a collective sense of frustrated hopes and a new urban generation less willing to adopt peaceful means of change. May 2nd, a lot of shit happened this week. God dang. 1844, master inventor Elijah McCoy is born in Colchester, Ontario, Canada. He would become the holder of 50 patents. Most were mechanical devices, which greatly improved engines, locomotives, and steamships. The superiority of his inventions led to the phrase, the real McCoy. I did not know that. Good practice for when you become a Minuet. It's coming soon. Oh, Lord. Let's see. McCoy was born to slaves who escaped America for a free life in Canada. His parents became successful and sent him to study engineering in Scotland when he was only 16. After the end of the U.S. slavery, he settled in, I can't say that, it starts with a Y, Michigan, and began his remarkable career. Who knows how to say this? It says YPSILANTI. I don't know what that is. Oh, monetized. What is that word? Do you know, Crystal? You know?
I have to look at it. I can't.
Girl,
Why?
damn, I wish I could get it bigger. This is a weird word. All I can say is
Why?
Michigan.
Hold on.
Yeah.
It settled in
Is it
it's
P
YPS.
ILANTI? What is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that it says a slavery he settled. Oh, it's a name Michigan. Michigan.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
in
who gives a
Michigan,
damn?
but
Who
I
give a
don't know
damn?
that city.
Probably some a native name or something.
Miss Fleck always helps me and I can't say something. Miss Fleck, it's spelled YPSILANTI. And while we wait, I'm gonna get on to the rest of this week real quick because this is a free a subscription till I get a job again, and they gave me about 40 some minutes left. So let me get through this real quick. So in 1870, one of the most unsung religious leaders in the American history was William Seymour. He was born on this day in Centerfield, Louisiana. Seymour became pastor of the Azusa Street Mission in Los Angeles and the catalyst for the worldwide Pentecostal movement. He not only rejected racial barriers in the church in favor of unity in Christ, but he was also credited with eliminating many of the restrictions placed on women in the church. He died of a heart attack in 1922. May 3rd, 1845. And Miss Fleck, thank you for thinking I might actually get monetized. That's so nice. Oh, she said it. Ypsilanti. Ypsilanti. Good Lord. That's got to be Indian. 1845, Macon B. Allen passes the Massachusetts bar, thus becoming the first African American lawyer to pass a state bar and the first black person permitted to practice law in the United States. Allen was born in Indiana, but after the Civil War, he moved to South Carolina, where he was elected a judge in 1873. And if y'all don't know this, man, I don't know what to tell you. 1933, singer James Brown, known as the Godfather of Soul, Yeah, I don't know about that. For his game-changing style in funk, soul, and R&B throughout his career, was born on May 3rd, 1933, in Barnwell, South Carolina. Brown charted on the Billboard Pops charts close to 100 times and on the R&B charts at least 110 times. In a career that spanned 6 decades, Brown influenced the development of several music genres. He died on Christmas 2006. God dang. Let's see. In 1949, the Supreme Court ruled in the favor of J.D. Shelley on Shelley versus Kramer, a landmark housing and civil rights case. After years of living with relatives or in rental properties, Shelley, who'd migrated from the South to St. Louis, Michigan, with his family to escape racial oppression, decided to buy a house. He learned, however, that many owners had agreed to a real estate contract clause that banned them from selling their homes to people of Negro or Mongolian descent. So they didn't want no blacks or Asians. After Shelley finally bought a house, while homeowner Louis Kramer hired an attorney to invalidate the contract and took the case to court. After Kramer successfully appealed, which reversed the first court's decision, Shelley family took the case to the Supreme Court and won. About damn time. May 4th, this man here, 1891, Dr. Daniel Hale Williams founded the Providence Hospital and Training Center in Chicago. It became a major training center for black doctors and nurses. Williams is best known, however, for performing the nation's first open heart surgery on July 9th, 1893. He operated on a man injured in a knife fight. The man would live for another 20 years after the surgery. And 1961, 13 freedom fighter riders began bus trips through the South to test Southern compliance with 1960 U.S. Supreme Court ruling outlawing segregation in interstate transportation facilities. They were soon joined by hundreds of freedom riders of all ages and races. Despite the court decision, dozens of freedom riders were arrested as the South attempted to hang on to its segregationist ways. We almost done. 1905 today, Robert Seagat Abbott, that's that man right there, founded the Chicago Defender newspaper, calling it the world's greatest weekly. Indeed, he would build the Defender into the largest circulation and most influential black newspaper of its day. The Defender, which became the most widely circulated black newspaper in the country, came to be known as America's Black Newspaper and made Abbott one of the first self-made millionaires of African American descent. In 1919, my grandma was born that year, Illinois Governor Frank Laudan appointed Abbott to the Race Relations Commission. Abbott unalived of Bright's disease in 1940 in Chicago. Let's see, we got two more and we're almost done. I've seen his face before. 1787, Prince Hall organizes the nation's first black Masonic lodge in Boston, Massachusetts, African Lodge number 459. Hall would go on to become the father of black Masons in America and a major black leader in the Northeast. I ain't even joking. I used to live across the street from a Mason place like last year. That was scary. 1812, Martin R. Delaney, a pioneering black nationalist, is born on this day in Charlestown, Virginia. Abraham Lincoln once described him as one of the most brilliant men he had ever met. Delaney would fight in the Civil War to end slavery and become one of the nation's first black military officers. After the war, he became a doctor, but over the years, he became frustrated with American racism and began to advocate to return blacks to Africa. How you feel about that? Sounds like we're repeating history. Shit.
Well, I wouldn't. You said Abraham Lincoln complimented him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be happy
I'm not
about
sure how I
that.
feel about that. When I found out that bastard didn't do it out the goodness of his heart.
No, he said it in there. He's actually said in the speech. He said that he never believed that black people were equal. He said that they always were inferior to white folk. And he said if he could have kept the nation together with keeping
Yeah.
slavery, it would have. But he thought this was the best way. He was racist as shit just because, he didn't own slaves don't mean nothing. He could have, some morals, but, whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, the lack of, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it, but him trying to that's another reason it's connected, because Abraham Lincoln was part of the. There was a movement prior to the Civil War about moving black people back to Africa. Abraham Lincoln just started
Mm-hmm.
enforcing it. So for him to join back on that, then you gotta remember, setting up Liberia in America, that just made black people co-signers in a colonization with the
Yeah.
native Liberians that were there, who weren't called Liberians, but so
Mm-hmm.
it caused
I heard
hostility.
they had issues out there. Ooh.
Oh yeah, they said that the Liberians swear up and down that the African Americans, which would what they would be at that point, I guess, enslaved. So treated them like shit or whatever, which is interesting because it's still under white control, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was nothing. It's just called, just one of the first black on black crimes, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I
Well,
mean,
we're gonna move into medical now, and I think everybody need to see this because I just learned about this and it's scary as hell. So check this out. Where's my little medical thing here? Okay, here we go.
We are at war.
Why black folks' lips swelling dramatically? Doctors say it's these meds, and I ain't seen it, but apparently this is flooding TikTok. Have you seen it? Because I
I
don't
have
go on
not.
TikTok that much.
No.
I haven't seen this, but apparently black people's lips are blowing the hell up. God dang. So let's see here now. TikTok is flooded with clips showing black individuals experiencing severe swelling, especially lips, linked to lisinopril. Lisinopril. You see that up there in that picture. If you watching, you see it right there. It says lisinopril. So if you have to use that, be careful, I guess. So the TikTok users expressed concern over the medication's safety to black people, suggesting it should be taken off the market. Personal testimonies reveal experiences of swollen lips and serious health complications after using lisinopril. Users initially thought these reactions were allergic responses, but experts clarified they are side effects. Ugh. Oh, you don't have TikTok? Oh, girl. Well, all my stuff is on YouTube. Let's see. Dr. Ruben, MD, explains that the swelling is not an allergic reaction, but a side effect caused by linalopril, releasing an enzyme that makes blood vessels leaky. Ew! The leakage leads to fluid accumulation in tissues, causing swelling such as lip and facial swelling. Linalopril's mechanism involving relaxing blood vessels, which can inadvertently lead to fluid leakage. Why would you put this out in the market? Historical and recent reports indicate that black people experience this side effect more frequently, which increased risk for life-threatening swelling of the tongue or throat. Oh my God. TikTokers share personal and medical experiences illustrating this increased vulnerability. This doctor, I ain't saying that name because, oh Lord, notes that African Americans are 5 times more likely to develop severe swelling that can threaten airway closure. AstraZeneca, that's it, AstraZeneca, the maker of linalopril, includes warnings on the medication about the risk of swelling, advising immediate continuation and medical attention if they persist. Certain groups, including black patients, women, and older adults, are identified at higher risk. Natural remedies such as hibiscus tea and green tea have been shown to, for promise in managing. This is for hypertension. So if you have hypertension, leave this shit alone, please. It's for hypertension, treats high blood pressure. Exactly. That's what it means. That's what it stands for. Do it the natural way. I've been drinking green tea for the last year now. Shit. Any thoughts?
Well, I love
It's
me some green tea. I tell you that. I
mm-hmm.
love me some any kind of tea. I'm from the South.
Oh yeah. Ooh, I
But
like
as
some iced tea too. Ooh.
as far as the my mom's a physician.
Mm-hmm.
So usually I run past every medication to
Oh
her.
yeah, that's good.
So I mean, I could ask her about this what is it?
I wish people would stop putting everything on TikTok though. This is
What do you mean, like they facing stuff?
like just anything that happens, put it on TikTok. Ooh.
Shit. Sometimes we need to. I mean, this right here is could be life danger. The swelling of
Yeah,
the
that's true.
tongue.
That
But
is
yeah,
true.
no,
But
but
some
other
people
stuff
look
I
like
agree.
they
Like
having
people,
fun. Like this one right here. That first one looked like she having a good time.
yeah, but I get what you're saying. Everything like
Yeah.
dirty underwear or something. But this right here, yeah, hell yeah, this is dangerous. But it's
Mhm.
crazy because the medical. I'm just gonna pull it back to black folk because Henrietta Lacks, Immortal
It's a black
Cell.
channel.
They right, Immortal Cell. Henrietta Lacks, that black woman who they supposed to be treating for cervical cancer and got all this. This is all
Yes,
medical advancement from her
girl.
cells.
How
And
you
so,
think I felt when I found out I was working for one of those companies that took it?
oh
After I got hired, I'm still pissed at them.
man, but
And
yeah.
they screw
So
me over now.
the fact that this stuff is they experiment on us, so they
Mm-hmm.
probably would just like works for other people. Fuck the Negroes.
Yeah.
So
Oh well.
yeah.
They
So
probably can't afford it anyways. Fuck.
right, they be over in Africa. These medical Johnson, all these vaccines, they test them on some
Girl,
kids over there. Yeah,
did you hear? I heard they got an African dude out there in I don't know what country, but he apparently created an electric car that will charge itself while you use it.
that makes sense with solar power to me.
Yeah, but they ain't gonna let it get out here. All these goddamn napkin people in charge and stuff. Oh,
That's
you got
it.
a good point right there, Miss Bev.
Mm,
But
mm.
we still got to stay connected some kind of way, though. All right, we gonna move on into some health real quick. Some other health, not this one because we don't have time. But I'm doing a this month is Mental Health Month. Okay, y'all. I am doing a what you call it? What is it called when you do it every month? I mean every week or something. I forgot what it was called. But whatever it is, every time I come on, I'm gonna introduce you to another black person that is detrimental to us who have mental health issues. Because as I've said before, I am batshit crazy. So let's check this out and we will talk about her. And if we have time, we'll talk about the strange news of Florida because I have issues with Florida. I really feel like it is a cancer and it should be deleted off of this world. We put all MAGA and all those horrible people on it and just cut that motherfucking peen off.
I,
Anyways, let me get, huh?
I would, I got a lot of mental health issues. I'm on a lot of medicine for it. I would mind coming for that too, if you don't mind.
All right, it's happening now. We talking about Mamie Phipps Clark. Mamie Phipps Clark was originally interested in mathematics and physics, planning to become a math teacher, but shifted to psychology after feeling unsupported in her initial studies and encouragement from Kenneth Bancroft Clark during her time at Howard University. She completed her master's in psychology at Howard and went on to earn a doctorate in Columbia University, becoming, along with her husband Kenneth, one of the first black man and woman to earn psychology doctorates at Columbia. The Clarks conducted pioneering researches of the impact of segregation and racism on Black children's self esteem, culminating in the famous doll tests, first expanded by 1943, which showed how many Black children internalized feelings of inferiority due to segregation. The dolls test involved showing Black children four dolls identical except for skin, hair, and eye color, revealing internalized racism among children from segregated schools versus greater awareness of social justice among those from racially mixed schools. Their 1939 dissertation, The Development of Consciousness of Self and the Emergence of Racial Identification in Negro Preschool, became a classic in developmental psychology and was a foundation in understanding racial identification in children. The Clarks' research, particularly the dolls test, was a critical part of their expert testimony during the Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court case that was challenging school segregation. They concluded that racial integration was essential for healthy racial identification among Black children, and their findings helped support the case of desegregation of American public schools. I wonder how they feel about it now. Despite the academic achievements, Mamie Clark faced racial and gender discrimination in employment during the 1940s, initially restricted to low-level jobs before becoming a testing psychologist in the Riverdale Home for Children, where she worked with homeless Black girls. The social challenges she observed were with their motivated Clark and her husband to open the Northside Center for Child Development in Harlem in 1946, providing psychological services and conducting further research on racial bias in education. In 1962, the Clarks founded Harlem Youth Opportunities Unlimited, an organization aimed at providing resources to Harlem schools and reducing Black youth unemployment, extending their influence beyond psychology into community empowerment. Mamie Phipps Clark was a fierce advocate for integration and social justice, breaking barriers as a Black woman in a predominantly white male field and using psychology as a tool for social change. Together, the Clarks advanced psychology by making it more inclusive and applying their scientific findings to further civil rights and educational equity. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Thoughts?
I've always found the whole thing sad, to be honest.
Which one? The
Just
segregation, the dolls.
but yeah, but here's the thing though, right? Because we'll say, I don't like how it's worded because it's like due
Okay.
due to segregation, right? But it's like
Yeah.
no, it's because of conditions. The fact that it was segregation and conditions in it of what people were teaching those children to view themselves. It had nothing to do with segregation. It was the effects of it.
Mind
Now,
wash.
a separation would I believe do the exact opposite. You know, a
Mm-hmm.
willing separation where we have they look at them white dolls like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to boost our children because and I've seen this in real life with my own daughter,
Mm-hmm.
going through to these white schools here, right? And
Yeah.
bullied are so bad that I'm not gonna get into it, but
Yeah.
basically didn't want to be, themselves anymore. My daughter fucking gorgeous, looks like a dog. And so the fact that that happened, I'm seeing it. It had nothing to do, and that's with desegregation. So,
Right.
so supposedly, but this is with me in an all white neighborhood. So it's the environment of surrounding that, not the separation. So I don't like how it's worded. It's because of what
Yeah.
they teaching our kids and how they represent us and our children that caused it. So yeah, no, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I love they really want us in their society so damn bad.
Yeah. And they tricked us into thinking we wanted it too, apparently. But
Fag.
let me bring back one more thing. I didn't have time to go over it, but apparently Drumpf is cutting what you call it funding for the NIH because they were doing a study in Denver involving Black community members utilizing videos and sharing personal vaccination experiences to foster trust and encourage flu shots. Well, he decided he was going to pull funding. So that's fucked up. I wanted to let everybody know about that shit as well before we continue because that's fucked up. Any thoughts on that? Because I'm not surprised.
I'm not sur- but I'm not surprised either. And they're gonna do exactly what he said. They the problem too. Everybody got blood on their hands.
And without us, you know how damn primitive this fucking country would be? They'd probably be dead by now because you know how many medical things we have founded.
Exactly. They
No,
don't want to talk about that.
they don't want to talk none of this shit. All the stuff we done contributed to this motherfucking and all. Let's talk about the damn immigrants you trying to get rid of. Them motherfuckers are working and paying into Social Security and they ain't never gonna get it. But you gonna get rid of that ass and you think we gonna go in the field? Kiss my ass. I almost got arthritis. Whoo. But we're gonna have a breath now. We're gonna take the last few minutes and we are just gonna talk about what the hell these people look like at the gala. So you ready to read some people, ma'am?
Oh yes.
Oh yes, I do read. I read at the end though.
Oh, I would love so. Yes, please. Continue.
So
I'd
we just
love to
gonna
see
get into
that.
our old salty auntie ways right now and talk about these younguns. But first, here go my commercial. If you like what I'm doing, please go ahead and put a like, subscribe, share my stuff. I'm a very small channel. Every time I get to 100, I will actually cam up so you can see I'm a real Black woman. Um, I love all of y'all. Without y'all, I wouldn't even be this far. Y'all give me energy, and if I can help y'all, I will. Check out my channel, and like I said, if you feel like I could do something to improve it, just come at me, right? And I